Happy to have you, and I hope that your Sunday is coming up well. Pretty much raining right here, but we certainly hope that all will be well. And of importance, the show must go on. Welcome to TV47 Weekend Edition. My name is Linda Alela. We have so much lined up for you, of course, to the point. We'll be having a very comprehensive discussion that I'll be introducing shortly. But first, the highlights. TV47 Weekend Edition. Kenya's Anti-Corruption Commission watchdog admits being overwhelmed by the huge number of corruption cases under investigation, even as the EACC boss calls for more funding to sharpen the watchdog's teeth.
Many of these people still with their family members, sadly. Their children, their husband, wife, their PA.
Uncertainty and fear abound as schools set to reopen this week amid widespread destructive flooding from the heavy rains. And angry members of the public in Naivasha turn on police after a traffic incident results in death. And welcome to TV47 Weekend Edition. As earlier mentioned, on To The Point tonight, we delve into the stories of resilience, redemption, and the pursuit for justice. And of course, we'll be looking at the intricacies that, of course, involve reintegrating into society after serving some time behind the bars. The next hour, that is after news, we hear from Kasula John, whose life has been hugely impacted by the criminal justice system. That is from an ex-convict or an ex-prisoner who's faced the intimidating task of rebuilding his life to a passionate human rights activist fighting for dignity as well as fairness within prisons and anti-crime activities that, of course, working tirelessly to ensure that we create, safe communities. So that's what we'll be discussing on To The Point. I'll be introducing my guests shortly, but now we delve into the world of news. Of course, I'll be helped by a sign language interpreter, Catherine Simaloi, on the other end. And tonight, the country continues to contemplate the massive flooding across the country, with images streaming in and spreading on social media of Kenyans facing the deadly threat of flood. The latest being this harrowing amateur video of a boat full of close to 40 people negotiating the raging waters of River Tana capsizing. So far, only about 20 have been rescued so far, with a desperate search underway for the rest. We warn you that these images may be distressing to watch.
Mwambia ngoje wenzake. We ngoje jamaa pite. We. Hoya. Anafunza nini? Ngoja huyo jamaa pite, wacha huyo apite.
Huyo ana nguvu, si ndio?
Wacha huyo ufuate. Fuata hiyo. Fuata hii. Yule anamwambia
We certainly hope that that will be addressed and on time. Meanwhile, we remind you to be careful. Now, Kenya's Anti-Corruption Commission has inadvertently admitted to being overwhelmed by the cases of graft they are investigating, with a current of 1,200 high-impact cases. The Ethics and Anti-Corruption Chief Executive Officer, that is Twalib Mbarak, revealing that more arrests of previous and current public officers in both the national and the county government will soon ensue after watertight investigations are completed. Mbarak further advocating for more funding for the agency to enhance the fight against corruption, as Moigi William details.
Crime does not expire.
A tough-talking Chief Executive Officer of the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, Twalib Mbarak, sending a stern warning to corrupt individuals involved in graft cases. At the same time, Mbarak admitting the country's anti-graft body is overwhelmed by cases of corruption it is investigating.
We are overwhelmed with the number of cases that we investigate. And this is a message that the current governors, niendeleni kuiba, but pole will get hold of you.
Many of these people still with their family members, sadly. Their children, the husband, wife,
the PA.
Their PA, those are the people that they use for storing their stolen loot or as proxies.
EACC stating that a majority of active investigations involves officers previously or those currently holding public office who have dipped their fingers in public coffers, that being 1,200 high-impact cases.
These are corruption cases. When you charge that one person, he takes 3-7 lawyers. So you must have facts on your fingertips. And corruption cases, a small problem makes a corruption case to do what? To collapse.
The anti-graft body further advocating for the amendment of the Constitution, highlighting Article 99 of the 2010 Constitution that stipulates the qualifications and disqualifications for election as Member of Parliament.
This EACC, that you want it to be a kiboko for the entire 40 million people with 700 people. Where are we going to be following who and stop at which person? Some things are processes, and generally, apart from corruption, impunity is what is killing this country.
Already, EACC has forwarded 100 files of high-profile cases to the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions, where the agency had concluded investigations in a bid to either prosecution of culpable persons or recovery of corruptly acquired property. Moigi William, TV47.
And back to the flood cases in the country following the heavy rains that have caused the floods that are wreaking havoc across the country. Natasha Wairimu, our reporter, shares the updates of the ongoing damage caused by the floods, including the deaths of different Kenyans across the country, the destruction of Kijabe Bridge, and the unknown fate of education in most parts of the country.
The ongoing heavy rainfall in the country, which has led to devastating floods, has resulted to massive loss of life, incredible destruction of property, and an extensive damage to infrastructure. The number of fatalities is continuously increasing across the country. For instance, a family in Kericho is mourning the death of their son, 20-year-old Kelvin Kiprono, who drowned in River Chepkwakwaran along Belgut-Bureti boundary in Kericho County.
Kuna fununu nyingine nilisikia, kuna kijana rafiki yangu hapa anaitwa Kelvin Kiprono. So wakati nilisikia alikuwa ameenda kucheza mpira huko kwa kiwanja.
Elsewhere, 3 people have lost their lives in Sindo after floods swept their residences.
River Lambwe has overflown its banks. We are asking the members of the public not to cross the river. They should not even try at all.
With the focus shifting to the reopening of schools starting Monday, this is a situation in Busia County, where locals fear learning may be paralyzed after classrooms were destroyed and 8 schools completely submerged.
Madarasa ambayo yaliweza kuadhirika, kulikuwa na vifaa vya wanafunzi, hasa sana chekechea, gredi ya kwanza, ya pili, ya tatu na 4, kwa sababu vifaa vyao huwa vinabaki darasani.
Over 600 learners at Sikinga Primary School in Nambale Sub-County will be forced to share the only 4 classrooms in the school after the rainfall destroyed 10 classrooms. Education stakeholders are appealing to the government and well-wishers to raise funds to urgently reconstruct classrooms to pave way for learning.
Nasikitika sana kwa mkasa ambao ulitukumba jana usiku, tukapoteza madarasa karibu yote. Sasa vile mwenzangu amesema, tunaomba usaidizi kwa wale wote ambao wanaweza kutusaidia.
Services have been completely cut off at Kijabe after the raging waters swept off Kijabe Bridge, which connects Kijabe and Mai Mahiu Road. Residents are now calling the government to expeditiously arrange for construction of a new bridge since the road is completely blocked off and schools will be opened this coming week.
Hii ya kwenda this daraja ndio ina connect Kijabe Girls. Hata hatujui shule zinakuwa opened next week. Na hata ile imewekwa hapa ni very temporary, ikikuja mvua ingine imeenda.
As the education stakeholders make their plea, the main question is, will students be safe once schools reopen amidst the rainfall? Reporting for TV47, I am Natasha Wairimu.
Thank you, Natasha, for that report. And in the wake of a week-long siege by flood waters in Madari, devastation reigns as homes lay in ruins and families seek refuge in makeshift shelters. Despite aid efforts led by Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua and Pastor Dorcas Rigathi, the community remains overwhelmed as they confront the grim reality of loss and the impending threat of more rain. Anu Dida with more.
This is the aftermath of a week-long siege by flood waters in Madari, a scene of devastation where both property and lives have been lost. The remnants of homes lay strewn about as families seek shelter in places like Valley Bridge Primary and Madari North Primary School. Despite aid pouring in from both concerned citizens and government agencies, the residents remain overwhelmed by the relentless force of nature.
Hiyo mvua imeturudisha nyuma sana. Hata nguo za watoto wetu zenye zilienda, chakula ni shida. Tungeomba kama sisi youth tunaweza pata kazi, tutafutiwe kazi.
Kuna mtu hata ana kitu wako tu venye yako. Venye tu alitoka, unajua kuna wenye wanaenda kazi usiku. Anakuja asubuhi anapata nyumba ilishaenda.
Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua today took charge in distributing essential supplies to those affected by the floods in Madari, a critical intervention as communities reel from the disaster that has struck various parts of the nation. His message to citizens, however:
we admit and we accept you are very adventurous, and that is the way it should be. But in this situation, it is my appeal that Kenyans should not dare nature.
Joining in the relief efforts, Pastor Dorcas Rigathi, spouse of the Deputy President, lended her support at Madari North Primary School, where the distribution of aid continued. Yet, as the government insists on school reopening tomorrow, the road to recovery for these flood victims remains fraught with challenges.
Tumekubaliana wale wote ambaye wako kwa mashule tutakuwa tukiwauliza kwa heshima, tutawasaidia, relocate hawa pahali kwingine ndio shule zetu siweze kufunguliwa.
According to the latest update from government spokesperson Isaac Maura, the death toll stands at 76, with ongoing efforts to rescue those still stranded or missing, highlighting the gravity of the situation. Ann Odida, TV47.
Anne Odida, thank you for that. And I think at this very point, we find ourselves back to the story that we started on, breaking all the way from Tana River County, where a boat got into this accident following the flooding waters of Tana River. And of course, the country continues to contemplate the massive flooding cases across the different parts of the country, with the images that you see on your screen right now streaming in and spreading on social media of Kenyans facing the deadly threat of flood. Of course, this is the latest harrowing experience, and coming from an amateur video of a boat full of close to about 40 people who are trying to struggle their way, and negotiating the raging waters of River Tana while they are capsizing. Pretty much unfortunate to see that. And of course, so far, only about 20 have been rescued, as we have been told, and we are eagerly waiting to see whether any information will reach the editorial desk to, just enlighten us on what, the rescue efforts are like. As at now, we do not know how much they are ongoing, especially it being dark at this very point, but we certainly are going to update you once this information gets to hit the editorial desk. Of course, that disparate search is ongoing. And we warn that, of course, these images are pretty much devastating and distressing to watch, even as we view and even as we try to see whether our reporters will come are going to update us on what is happening on ground. We'll certainly be here to make sure that you get these updates, and always constantly reminding you that we need to be careful. I think you have also seen what are some of the safety measures you're supposed to take in the event of such, magnitude of water. If it is too much, please, take a backseat or perhaps get to a different destination, as opposed to finding your way or struggling to find your way to the next destination. And as I have said, again, we are still witnessing the rains. Even at this very point, it is raining heavily outside. So as you use the roads, as you find your way home, please be careful. Well, and as students gear up to return to school from tomorrow, concerned parents have raised their fears over the safety and well-being of their children in light of the heavy flooding experienced in various parts of the country. The situation is quite dire for parents from settlements like Mukuru kwa Ruben, where the paths to go to school are impassable due to extensive flooding cases. Even so, the Ministry of Education maintains that the timetable does not change, owing to the most students that are affected or unaffected by the heavy downpour.
It has not been the same since the rain started hitting the ground early March this year. This bridge, that is usually used by more than 10,000 students each day, collapsed due to heavy flooding.
Tukiangalia hii bridge tumesimama inaketa watu wa Sadia Ruben na watu wa Lungalunga, Kingston. Hii bridge inatumika na watu wanaenda high school, watu wanaenda primary. So watu wako the other side wezi kaamuku ku access kama Gatoto, EF, kuna bridge, kuna pia gateway.
According to Mukuru kwa Ruben residents, they explain they have been living in fear of losing their children to the floods, and it is still not safe for them to go back to school tomorrow.
Mtoto kama huyu akiteleza aingie ndani, itakuwa mshike. Jumaji tayari yamejaa.
Shida ni mtoto kuvuka venye atafika Katoto. AF shida bado ni huko. Wataenda aje?
However, they say it's been a game of throwing dust to their eyes. The governor Nairobi County, Johnson Sakaja, who just made a physical appearance to this bridge but never took a benevolent step as he had promised.
Governor Sakaja alikuwa hapa last week. Alikuwa hapa Monday alikuja, na hata yeye mwenyewe alisimama hapo penye mimi nimesimama. Alisema daraja wataunda. Na sasa hiyo kuunda ndio tujue itaundwa lini. Juu kama next week Monday shule itafunguliwa. Na watoto wanafai wapite hapa na ni wengi.
On the other hand, teachers have maintained their readiness in welcoming the students back to school, pleading that it calls for a collective effort between the teachers and parents in ensuring their children's safety.
Tunaweza angalia tu weather vile iko. Tukianza kuwa na of course the bad weather, tukianza kuona ni kama kuna signs za mvua, tunatoa watoto wanaenda nyumbani mapema, ama pia kama already kumenyesha mapema na hatukuwa tunatarajia hayo, tunawapigia wazazi wao ili wawakujie kwenye shule.
Kuripoti shule on Monday hapo ni 50-50. Juu shule yenyewe tujajua kama kwamba kuna madrasa zenye zimeingiwa na maji. Sisi pia kwetu italingana kama hiyo Jumatatu mvua itanyesha. Isiponyesha wataripoti shuleni. Kukinyesha kama wako shuleni, walimu wana communicate. Ama sisi wenyewe si tunaona tunajua hali vile iko. Tunachangamka tunaendea watoto.
Ruga Ival, TV47.
All right, thank you, Ruga Ival, for that story that takes us for a quick short break, and then we come back with more.
Na safari hii katika Mfahamu Kiongozi tutakuletea viongozi aina mbalimbali.
Nikuwe na Nisani kama 10 na pia nikuwe menua minibus. Minibus nikoniwa.
Kushinda unaangalia simu ya mzee. Soma Biblia ama ingia kwa washroom ujisugue mpaka nimetoa hivi.
I don't know whether any of my children would want to get into the political field. Sijajua bado.
Kila Alhamisi saa 1:30 kuendelea.
Join us on a journey through the concrete jungles and rising skylines, where every beam, every nail tells a story of progress and vision.
In every aspect of life, you know, you have to look at several dynamics.
From groundbreaking.
Nowadays with the tech, you can check on different websites or you check online and you can see some inspiration. So at least that one would be a direction already. I'll know like what kind of style you're going for.
To finishing touches. Witness.
Welcome back to TV47 Weekend Edition, and straight to the other stories. And a police officer based in Naivasha was seriously assaulted by Raid Public after he assaulted a local following an altercation at an accident scene where a Boda Boda rider was fatally injured in Naivasha CBD Saturday evening. The locals were unhappy with what they called a sluggish response to the crash by the officers. Our reporter Willie Dennis Njiru witnessed it all and filed the following report.
This is the motorcycle that the unnamed rider rode as he met his death at the Naivasha CBD, with his passenger cheating death by a whisker after the two were wedged between two lorries, where one is said to have lost its brakes.
Tunafika pale kwa junction ya Mugwani. Ile lori ilikuwa nyuma na kuna pikipiki ilikuwa katikati na kuna gari ya Naivas. Ambapo wakati kufika pale kwa junction kuna ile lazima usimame uone nani anapita kutoka upande ile wa Diplomat kuelekea pale kwa hiyo laini ya kwenda police line. Yule wakati alisimama, kuna lori ya nyuma ilikuja ikagonga mtu wa katikati, ikakuja ikagonga lori ya Naivas, na huyo chama akanyamaza hapo na hapo.
There followed a heated altercation between members of the public, Boda Boda riders and police, with a tide turning against the police officers for reluctantly handling the matter.
Haikuimeka keep distance na alikuwa amebeba abiria msichana. So alipomgonga ametoka na akaepa, lakini mwenzetu wa boda boda ameanza kuaga dunia. Lakini abiria amepelekwa hospitali.
Sequence 1. Drawing to 2. To 3, where a man squeezed the collar of a traffic police officer who was acting in self-defense, hitting him with handcuffs and seriously hurting him. The irate public retaliated, descending viciously on him before he was left in the trench. Scenes out of proportion, diverting attention from accident scene to assault.
Huyu askari alitokea pande ile akatoa pingo, amenikonga na ndiye akanikonga na pingo.
The two later recorded separate reports at the Naivasha police station, awaiting determination, even as the body of the crushed victim was taken to the Naivasha mortuary and the vehicles towed to the police station. Reporting for TV47 from Naivasha in Nakuru County, I'm Willie Dennis Njiru.
There's a fury over fake fertilizer and the politics surrounding it rages across the country. The two major political factions differ on whether the Agriculture Cabinet Secretary Mitigation Linturi should be impeached or not. Some MPs expressing their desire to the National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula to quickly approve the bill to impeach Linturi.
The recent scandal involving the distribution of fake and substandard fertilizer continues to cause a stir in the political arena. After submitting a bill to impeach the CS for Agriculture, Mitigation Linturi submitted to the Speaker of the National Assembly, Bumula Member of Parliament Wamboka Wanami is now asking the Speaker of the National Assembly, Moses Wetangula, to approve the bill, a step he feels is for the good of the mwananchi.
Bunge ya Kenya lazima isimame. It must be counted. Na kuomba uidhinishe huyo mswada nionane na mtika wa Linturi aende nyumbani apotelee mbali.
Wamboka has however claimed to have received threats from some leaders who want him to abandon the desire to remove Linturi as the debate on fake fertilizer continues.
Nimepata vitisho mingi. Unajua Mithika, wakati Mithika alete hoja ya kumfukuza Waiguru, aliitwa Naivasha, akapatiwa bibi, akapatiwa pesa, akaachana naye. Sasa yeye anafikiri kila mjumbe ni chip kama yeye. Kama ni bibi niko naye. Kama ni pesa tutapata. Si ndio? Mimi sinunuliwi, mimi sitaki niongeleshwe.
The notice to impeach Linturi has faced strong opposition from government leaders led by the chairman of MPs from Meru County, Mugambe Rindikiri, who has vowed that the Wamboka bill will not see the light of the day.
Wewe umeenda kwa TV umeanza kuropoka. Hata mtu angelikuwa na makezi ngapi, sijui nini, unataka kutuambia bunge yote mzima. Wewe ndio unajua sana.
Cabinet Secretary Mitigation Linturi on his part has said that he will not be intimidated by those who are trying to blame him for the fake fertilizer scandal that erupted in the country. Linturi, who was speaking during Sunday service at St. Teresa Catholic Church in Kidongo, Meru County, revealed that those who are fighting against him are not aware of the steps his minister has taken to improve the agricultural sector in the country.
Mimi ukiniangalia sasa, mimi niko katika serikali na rais anajua ile kazi mimi ninafanya. Ukiangalia sasa, na wakati ule nilikuwa nahangaishwa na Uhuru Kenyatta na Kinandisi hai huku. Si unaona tofauti mambo ilibadilika. Sasa unafikiria mimi ni mtu wa kutishwa ama kuhangaishwa na watu? Abana.
Speaking at the NCPB in Bungoma Town during a public participation session regarding fake fertilizer, the chairman of the Agriculture Committee in the National Assembly, Nyando MP Jared Okello, expressed his views over the process of collecting signatures to remove Linturi from office before the report of the committee comes out.
We will wait and see what happens with those signatures and whether the Speaker of the National Assembly will give a nod in line with the standing orders for that impeachment proceeding to take shape.
Wanji Sustin, TV47, Bungoma.
Thanks, Wanji, for that. Now, Mount Kenya University has called on county governments to invest in proper drainage system in efforts to mitigate against flooding that has been experienced in several parts of the country. The MKU Vice Chancellor, Professor Deogracius Jagani, said if there has been good drainage, the flooding would not have been witnessed. Speaking as the university participated in a tree planting drive of 1,500 trees, Jagani called on all stakeholders to join hands, come up with programs that will help address such adversities in future. The VC, while calling on other Kenyans to continue doing the noble cause, said that the exercise will help reduce the adverse effects of flooding and also defeat the effects of climate change.
Umevyoiona hii flooding sio ya kawaida. Flooding sio ya kawaida. Na ingependekana kwamba county government zichukue hilo jukumu. Wachukue ile jukumu ya kuhakikisha kwamba ile mitaro ya kupeleka maji mahali pa rivers zimewekwa tayari. Sio saa hizi mvua inanyesha ndio waanze kuchimba mitaro. Kwa hiyo sasa sisi tunataka kupanda miti ili tuweze kurudisha dunia yetu iwe mzuri.
And as schools reopen, the National Transport and Safety Authority, NTSA, has concluded its 3-day medical camp in Thika, where over 300 school bus drivers received a free medical checkup, among other services that would include training on road safety as a way of curbing the rampant road accidents in the country. The training and free medical camp was led by NTSA Regional Manager Kendi Mutuma and other NTSA officials from Nairobi and Kiambu. Mutuma said the free road safety clinic was aimed at reducing fatal road accidents that are experienced in the country, especially during this rainy season. Drivers who attended the safety awareness clinic were upbeat that the clinic was long overdue but came at the right time, saying they have been equipped with knowledge and skills which will help them enhance their driving prowess.
This special group of the school transport drivers, so that we remind them they are dealing with a very vulnerable group. Those are the school-going kids that all the way to the university level. We are reminding them to ensure that they do not only adhere to the Traffic Act and the NTSA regulations, is that they are also cognizant of the fact that they are dealing with a very vulnerable group. Therefore, we are urging them to ensure that they adhere to road safety at all times. We have also reminded them that as school open, they remember that we are in a very rainy season, that whenever they find a muddy area or that has a lot of water, they don't need to actually pass. So they should put road safety first instead of the convenience